Unsettling pictures from history you weren't meant to see. Hello and welcome back to Curiosity Lounge. Before we start, hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. 10. The reenactment. This photo is extremely unsettling and for a very good reason. If when you look at this photo your instincts tell you that the guy in them is creepy, this is a photo that features the German serial killer Joachim Kroll. He is known for taking the lives of 14 people, all varying in age, and he is known for also consuming parts of their flesh. This monster was caught in 1976, and he was discovered when police found out that he had clogged the plumbing in his apartment with the remains of one of his victims. How gruesome is it that this photo was taken shortly after he was caught and arrested, and what you're seeing is a cruel reenacting one of his crimes for the police. 9. The Pioneer's Defense. This photo is known as the Pioneer's Defense, and man does it ever look creepy. This photo comes from 1937, and it was taken by a Russian photographer named Viktor Bula. This photo takes place in the Leningrad area, which is now known as St. Petersburg, which is the second largest city in Russia. The people in this photo were part of a group that was the 1930s Russian equivalent of our Boy Scouts that was called the Young Pioneers. The masks on their faces leave a very eerie feeling, and for a fair reason. These people were doing a military preparation drill, which is the reason for the gas masks. This photo was taken during a time when the country was under the dictatorship of Joseph Stalin, and the residents were constantly unsure of what was going to happen. 8. The Net Test. This photo comes to us from 1958, and it is quite an interesting one. At first glance, it looks fun, but then when you catch the expression on the person's face and look a little more into it, it just leaves you with a ton of questions as to what exactly is going on here. It looks like a guy is going on some sort of a roller coaster ride, but what is happening is that a prisoner is being used to test safety nets before they were mass-produced. Yeah, not the good time we thought it was. This comes from a time when capital punishment was much more widespread throughout the US, and those waiting on death row couldn't just sit around waiting for their date to come. 7. A burst of joy. This photo wondering how this extremely joyous photo could hold any dark secrets. Well, this photo won a Pulitzer Prize, and for a good reason. This photo was captured by Slava Vetter on March 17, 1973 at the Travis Air Force Base in California. This photo shows United States Air Force Lieutenant Robert I. Sturm and his family. This was taken as he was being reunited with his family after 5 years of being held as a prisoner of war in North Vietnam. On October 27, 1967, he was leading a flight off 105s when he was shot down over Hanoi and held captive until March 14, 1973. I can't imagine what this must have been like for his family because there was a huge chance that he could not have made it home at all. 6. Ghost Boy. This photo is said to have been taken inside of the infamous Amityville Horror House in 1976. It is said that this creepy vintage photo is still one of the most chilling paranormal photos of all time. Yep, that's right, this photo is said to be of a ghost. After the DeFeo killing, the next owner of the house, George Lutz, swore that the house was haunted, and he called in none other than Ed and Lorraine Warren, the most famous paranormal investigators ever. On one night of the investigations, they set up an automatic camera on the second floor of the house, and this photo is said to have been caught. Then some believe that the ghostly face staring back is that of young John Defoe, who lost his life in this house. 5. UFO Report. This is less of a photo and is more like a PDF, but I still felt like it applied to today's list. This is a previously classified document from 1963. Although the document still has a ton of information that has been blacked out, the document is the description and report of an unidentified flying object or a UFO encounter. This is said to have taken place over the desert of Nevada, and the report was written in detail to have a written record of the event. This document is said to have been the authentic report from the FBI, which is exactly why some of the details have still been omitted. This might seem like less of a big deal now, as in this day and age, we have declassified video footage of similar kinds of encounters. 4. The Apollo 1 Player. This photo was originally taken and meant to be a sort of lighthearted prank or joke, but it would later turn out to be a chilling image. This photo shows the Apollo 1 crew jokingly praying over a miniature model of their command module. The three men in the photo are Roger Chaffee, Virgil Grissom, and Ed White, and sadly during a test launch on January 27, 1967, defense? They all burned to death. To make this story even worse, before the test, the three of them had voiced concerns about the amount of flammable material that was on the craft. 3. Hilo Tsunami. This photo comes to us from April 1, 1946. This is the day when an 8.6 magnitude earthquake hit just off of the coast of the Aleutian Islands in Alaska. As we all know, earthquakes can often have after effects, and this one sent shock waves throughout the Pacific. This led to the formation of an ocean-wide tsunami. 2. The shadows. As most of us know, on August 6, 1945, the United States dropped an atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. This was devastating to this city, and of course, we can understand the implications. This photo shows what is called a nuclear shadow, and this is just one that could be seen throughout the city. 1. The crash. This is one of those photos that was just taken in the right place at the right time, but it shows a very scary situation. A man named Jim Meads is said to have taken this photo in 1962. The story goes that a man named Bob Sure had mentioned to Jim that he was going to fly this plane called the Lightning. The following day, Jim took his kids out for a walk that next day and took his camera with him, intending to get a shot of the aircraft as Bob flew it. A small crack in the jet pipe had weakened the tailplane actuator anchorage, which weakened the tailplane, a defense control system that failed with the aircraft at 100 feet. That's all for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss any amazing video from us.